read the moves.
The troll pick to me is kind of interesting because I look at this lineup. It's not really a lineup that's going to benefit too much from Battle Trance, is it?
Well,
I guess obviously still nice.
Their lineup, I wouldn't say like their other heroes do, but their lineup does, right? Because they have the sustain and the push, right? Yeah. They win a team fight, Battle Trance, go, lose racks. Like the other team will lose racks so quickly versus that. All right, Owen.
There we go.
Game 1 coming in here.
I'm looking forward to this. I mean, I don't think you could wish for sort of a better draft from iG.V. It's super.
That is literally
classic iG.V.
iG.V versus Team Liquid right there.
This is like the stuff we saw iG.V. doing, like back at DAC or every time that they could. And Liquid's, I feel, is a little kind of new age Liquid. You know, we are seeing this Matu Necro coming through. You know, it's obviously played before.
Yeah.
But it's a little more 2017 than iG.V.'s draft.
Yeah, I think it's like this is Liquid's comfort, but it's also they were looking at what iG.V. wanted to play, and they were like, okay, We'll start with our very comfortable heroes, the Earthshaker and Nature's Prophet, because it's very open-ended, and then once we get more information, we'll pick the Matu hero. And Necro versus Sven, it's pretty lovely. Yeah,
that is true. Yeah, you got this beefy hero that you've only got to worry about taking down so much. And as you said earlier, and they didn't pick anything to solve it, there is no save.
There is no save. If that Reaper Scythe gets off, until the BKB comes out, could have some trouble.
They do obviously have ways to target the Necro. You know, you're going to have a Storm Spirit and Cicada. We don't know necessarily what he's going to build, but if he does get an Orchid picked up, you've got that. You've got the pull from the Earth Spirit. You've got the disables from the Shaman. You've got a lot of ways in these fights to make sure that Matu doesn't have an easy time landing the Reaper Scythe.
Yeah. As long as they don't let this Earthshaker get like a good timing on their blink, that can be pretty good, because Liquid's only initiator is that Shaker. We look at iG.V.'s, their initiator is really like the pseudo-initiation, the Earth Spirit and the Storm Spirit kind of going in at the same time. But it's not like a straight blink initiation, like setup, knock, lockdown. Unless Dogfights gets an early blink there.
You know, I'd love to see this game, and I feel like we may even see it if the game goes on, because we are seeing players start to dabble with it. The Aghanim Storm Spirit would be pretty legit this game. Would you say that's too overkill on kind of the pulling them in? Is the vacuum's enough?
You have a Sven, right?
Sven and Ag Storm Spirit, let's go. Bottom lane, I mean, look at this already. Paparazzi taking quite a beating here from the Treants as the pressure's put on from Mind Control.
That was just the threat of having the other two heroes kind of walking in. Just the Treants do so much damage. Even Sven, look how low Paparazzi got.
Yeah, straight down to half. He's having to regen up already.
Here you have to expend a Tango. They only have 2 Tangos on Shadow Shaman, 5 on Sven, and at least he has a Salve. But they are a little bit suffering on sustain in that lane. Dogfights, chilling around mid lane, scouting out Kuroki. The try mid by Liquid at the moment.
A lot of hate from Liquid indeed coming the way of Cicada's Storm Spirit. Mikura, as we're seeing, as you said, the Arctic Burn, fantastic for getting that harassment in from safety. Just a couple of hits on both of them.
If they give Miracle a good start in the mid lane, it's an absolute disaster for Stormster to get anything, except if he just goes jungle and kind of catches up with levels and Overload.
I'll tell you what, bottom lane as well, looks like Mind Control's doing a great job with the pressure he's putting on. You know, Super being brought down to half health, you know, Paparazzi's presence constantly being threatened. Mid lane, this block for GH, this is going to be first blood. Cicada, nowhere to run. First blood for Miracle, the tri-lane mid, as you say, it's working out perfectly. You get Miracle that strong start, you're going to be feeling pretty good as a team.
I've seen this before. The GH blocks on mid lane. I feel like it happens so often. This is also the nice thing about having a ranged hero like Necro, especially Necro actually, because you have the extra sustain too, versus a hero like Darkseer.
He loves this lane. I mean, he's not going to harass the Darkseer necessarily out, but he's going to feel no pressure at all.
Oh, he completely free farms, and he gives the liberty to support to just do whatever the hell they want all over the map. And that's, look at that, Kuroki's now bottom, GH went back to base to heal, and now they're pressuring the safe lane even more. Mind Control, full free farm.
Yeah, this is an absolute nasty lane for iG.V. It certainly seems, you know, this first couple of minutes, Liquid just across the border having the stronger lanes.
Yeah.
iG.V. struggling with that pressure, and Mind Control just beating this Paparazzi's Fem right out of the lane. He's still getting some CS out of it, but Mind Control's getting just that little bit more.
They've literally expended all the regen in the bottom lane.
Oh, Shadow Shaman Sven out of it. Oh yeah, you're
Shadow
right.
Shaman TP'd back as well to buy more. He only has the Mango. That's really painful already, because there's going to be phase boosts coming up for MC very early in this one. And I think Liquid also probably recognizes that. They probably looked like Sven has no regen. Mind Control is definitely like, this Sven has no regen. Keep the pressure on him, and we're just going to crush this lane so hard that the recovery method is going to be extremely difficult.
You know, Kuro's like, well, I've got Arctic Burn back up. Let's go as soon as it's available. GH is there as well, ready to throw in a Fisher. Paparazzi just getting pressured right back behind the tower. And he really has to be careful.
Mid lane.
Only got a few tangos in mid lane. Again, the Earth Spirit Dogfight's trying to help out Cicada, but he gets taken down as Miracle and GH turn upon him. Cicada getting pressure back, does have a salve. But ready, Liquid making the moves, getting 2 kills in that middle lane.
Quick reaction by GH. He was walking bottom and he literally just sees Miracle gets the, I think it may have been a timely bash on the Earth Spirit. Earth Spirit rolled in, he TP'd in, he got a perfect fissure when he was low. Miracle able to clean that up.
And look at this top lane, pretty much exactly as you said. Matu, 16 for 3, perfect CS, and in July, he's only on 9 CS at the moment, so Matu doing a fantastic job at controlling this Necro versus Darkseer lane.
Yeah, it's a hard lane because eventually Darkseer just runs out of sustain. You can't really keep your mana up, while Necro, as long as you're last hitting properly, you're always going to be topped off.
Here we go though, that's what iG.V needed. They get themselves a bit of action, 3 of them coming on the bottom lane, dogfights to join up with Super and Paparazzi. They do take down Mind Control.
I think they should just stick this tri-lane and just keep it there. Even though the pull was blocked by Mind Control, so they're splitting tri-lane experience, they have to make sure that their Sven gets farmed. He's their big hero in the beginning of the game, and they already have... They don't really have any stacks for him going on yet either, so it's either sit in that bottom lane, make sure he gets the free farm, or make sure you at least have stacks on him.
I mean, that kill was massive, you know, just getting Paparazzi that bit of a bump up back with the XP. We can see on the CS, he's still up there despite that early pressure. Yeah. Has the 2 points to the cleave, so now, you know, the Trin's a little less of a worry. Mid lane though, again, GH coming in with the Fisher block. Cicada nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and Miracle 3 kills already at the 4 minutes mark, thanks to his team's rotations. And this mid lane being an absolute treat. In terms of kills, farm-wise though, despite the fact that Cicada's been taken down a couple of times, he's not far behind the troll at all in CS. 16 at the moment on him.
In CS, it's not so bad, but in net worth, it's already at 1,000. And 1,000 gold mid, yeah, Miracle's gonna... If he gets phase boots before this Storm gets boots, he has to just get out of mid. And oh my god, GH and Kuroki again.
Cicada's in trouble. Looks like they will try and punish dogfights as well with Mind Control TPing in. Miracle finishes off the Storm Spray on the backlines. GH, Mind Control, and Kuroki claim the second. I mean, this mid lane is seeming to turn into a bit of a no-go zone for iG.Vitality, as each and every time the rotations are just a step up from the side of Liquid.
We had our concerns, right, at the start of the draft, where like there's so many ways that Liquid can make those rotations to put pressure on the mid lane, and that is literally the nature of their game so far. They've not straight. They pressured the safe lane a bit, but it's been mid lane, mid lane, mid lane. Miracle now with phase boots. I don't think Cicada can go back to that lane. I actually think he needs to pretty much just jungle. One fissure and you just get ran down with phase.
The great thing about iG.V's draft, though, is it is a draft that's built for teaming up. You know, if they at least get to a certain point, they're going to have this strong wombo combo. Top lane, dogfights, and in July, teaming up, trying to take down Matuma Man. Nice smash there through the shroud. Place. He's just going to turn and nearly get the kill on In July. In July still alive for the time being. Will pick up Matu. Kuroki and Mind Control do punish the Darkseer in return. The block comes out from GH from the sidelines, and they pick up at second. They kill Matuma Man. They don't get the extended death with the Reaper Scythe not doing quite enough damage, but it does cost them 2 heroes. So Liquid, you know, even if they're not necessarily winning the trades, making sure that they are keeping and punishing iG.V for the attempts on their safe lanes. Yeah.
If Kuroki actually had like a little bit more mana there, he would have had the Cold Embrace and potentially would have probably saved Matu. That could have been absolutely devastating. But yep, Cicada back to the mid lane. GH is just sitting there. He's just like, yep, if he steps even 1 step out of position, that's a kill. Yeah,
it's very close to that level 6, and obviously that's going to be when things get a lot easier for Cicada in this mid lane. Not going down,
but an Invis rune.
Oh my goodness.
He's about to be 6-2. Oh no!
Bash. No, you're right. He's not quite 6. Good boulder smash. Turnaround. He gets it. There he gets it. Beautifully done. Gets out in time. Does get sprouted up, but Mind Control can't quite get the damage through. As Super's there with the shackle. Holds back the Nature's Prophet. Miracle has cleaned up on the sidelines though. Gets the Earth Spirit kill. Now turning towards Super as they dive deep, but they've lost GH. There's going to be a TP coming through from Paparazzi. Liquid, they've got to get out of it, but there's Cicada waked in on the high ground, ready to look for Miracle. Has the willing access, the spin chance, the miss chance is not enough. That's going to be Troll falling down as well, as this time iG.V the ones to come out on top, and it really was, as you say, as soon as Cicada hits that level 6, suddenly those mid lane ganks become a hell of a lot harder for Liquid.
He was just like, that creep needs to die. He was like 50 or 25 experience from getting that level 6 there. Perfect timing, and then of course it's 6 minutes. Shrine's back up, backs up, gets the Shrine. Good TP rotations.
Look at these chooks.
And yeah, Mind Control, just running circles, running dogfights.
Surely he doesn't get out. Oh my, he gets out as well. Dogfights doesn't even go for the blind boulder smash. Maybe he should have, but they just get Mind Control with the ring around the rosy play. And the TP out. Oh right, yeah, that's gonna feel bad there for the Earth Spirit. That looked like a guaranteed kill, but the Mind Control jukes.
We ended up getting the kill on Miracle, so it's Paparazzi. So that's actually quite nice because he is their strongest hero on the map. He gets a little bit of a kill streak. Yeah. He didn't really like do too much, and he walked in just through a stun, but it was the presence of the TP.
Definitely.
that thwarts Liquid's aggression. Mid lane, Miracle, now they're trying to put more aggression.
See if he can get saved. He does have backup from Liquid. GH comes in with a Fissure. A nice silence there from Dogfights, connects onto 2, allowing Cicada to zip forward, but Kuroki, quick with the cold embrace, keeps Miracle safe, and Cicada will simply have to use the remainder of his mana to zip back to safety. So, again, as we're seeing, obviously, any time you're going to have the Wyvern on the team, there's always going to be the chance of these sort of saves, and Kuroki being Kuroki, you know he's going to be in the right place at the right time. And that in return does make it hard for iG.V themselves to actually do something to Miracle aggressively.
Yeah, whenever they have that the Ion Shell Earth Spirit, though, it's a lot easier for them to try to make that big aggressive play, because they lack a little bit of damage because of the axes. The Storm Spirit gets that miss rate, so they have to pretty much make sure that Dogfights' Ion Shell to go for those kills, and they're gonna go for it again actually on Miracle. It seems like Paparazzi's set up. They do a smoke rotation.
It is tricky though.
It is a bit tricky, and Liquid wants to pressure something because they're like Sven is jungling or doing something while they give Shadow Shaman bottom lane experience completely. So this Shadow Shaman's gonna get quite a lot of farm down here. Almost Arcane Boots in 6. Liquid's making the rotation.
And that's the thing with Sven as well. Once he gets that Mask of Madness treads, that's sort of the danger point where you're like, okay, you know that the Sven's going to get his farm then. He's continue trying to make the stacks. The root might cause some issues though. I don't know if he's necessarily going to hit the timing because of that. Just gets it indeed. Top lane, might see a bit of action. Matsuma Man coming back in to have a bit of a look in onto Injuly, and Super. Nice rotation from Mind Control, comes in with the Sprout to block off the Shadow Shaman, and Super in a bit of trouble here as he will be surrounding Matu. Does have the mana if he wants to throw down that side, and there we have it, just in time, knocking the Shaman down for a good old 35 seconds.
That extra time helps a little bit. Sure, it's only like 10 extra respawn time, but it is a Shadow Shaman who's 6. It delays them to maybe set up for a word type of push. He also was about to buy Arcane Boots, but since he's the 5, he switches to Magic Wand. And now Miracle, with that first usage of Battle Trance, they're actually able to claim this full tier 1 mid lane.
Get a bit of pressure on the top as well with the Treants, but indeed, Miracle going from strength to strength. As we hit the 10-minute mark, we'll head over to the net worth. And indeed, we can really see there the difference between Miracle and Cicada start this game. 5k on the Troll, 2k ahead of the Storm Spirit 10-minute mark. That's quite the difference to have there.
That is brutal. And now with that mid tower taken out as well, they have access points now into the enemy jungle. They have that big mid area that they can walk in, and it makes it so iG.V doesn't really have the greatest amount of places to farm. Whenever if they show somebody mid, I mean, there's just so much information you get from taking that kind of tower there. And they're able to get a ward, aggressive ward, to watch the Ancients as well, which is probably the most important thing. They see that triple stack, they may be able to contest it actually in the area when Sven goes to clear.
Pressy again, having to deal with the pressure of both Mind Control and Kuroki as they come into the lane. Smoke up from the two of them. iG.V, Dogfights and Super were looking to move around for a bit of an action.
They're 6 as well.
But they have to be a little careful because Miracle's standing on a DD room. They're going to try for it though. And in fact, they get the steal as well. Very, very nicely done there. Dogfights takes the DD rune, but it might not be enough even with the wards as Kuro comes in with the cold embrace save in July. Beautiful wall there. Clips onto the two of them, gets the vacuum, will finish off Miracle. Dogfights though is trapped up by the trees. He's trying to get himself away and he does. He'll escape. Paparazzi from the sidelines goes into the high ground with the Stormhammer, but it's not enough damage. They'll try for the turnaround with the Reaper's side, but still not quite enough to bring Paparazzi down. The war cry as well. The armor, it's not enough to withstand the physical damage from Matu as 2 go down on both sides. Cicada tried to zip in, but he's now out of mana. Surely he doesn't get away, and he doesn't, as iG.V fighting just a little too close to the safe spot of Liquid, and Liquid will manage to turn around that fight.
Liquid just a bit stronger, and also they have the liberty of that shrine, but also iG.V had to expend so much to take out that Troll Warlord. They had to blow the Earth Spirit ultimate, all of his stones, as well as all the Shadow Shaman spells, and then they barely actually brought him down. They needed Injuly to come in for the cleanup. So Liquid, standing on their shrine, able to just have a bit more sustain there, and just having a bit more than iG.V in that.
And as we saw, Paparazzi turns up, but not really huge amounts that this Sven could do at this stage with just the mask and the treads and the level 1 god strength. He needs much more time, as we're seeing at the moment. Top 3 on the net worth, all clear to be Liquid's 3 cores. It's just going to be a catch-up game ready for iG.V with this Sven.
They have to just make sure they can get those Ancients cleared, but Liquid is literally warding all the Ancients. One just gets de-warded by Super, but they have eyes on the Ancients whenever they do want to get cleared. And now it's Roche, so now they can threaten those tier 1s even more, and then if they get all 3 tier 1s, that's where it's like they limit so much of iG.V's actual farm chances.
They're going to try and look for this, and Dogfights comes in, but immediately held back by the stun. Will try and bottom smash and roll out, and does manage to make the escape there. Neat little play as he backs off. But you know, they've got the info that Liquid are in there, but very little they can do to contest this, as Liquid will claim Roshan, get the Aegis onto Miracle. So now this high-value troll even harder to take down. Very close to looking towards getting that Yasha done as well. On top of the phase, Vlad's is just to the 13-minute mark. And yeah, overall 5k lead for the side of Liquid.
My control top looks like they're trying to get him. They should be able to here with the multiple
That's
rotations.
a big kill.
Yeah, they got him.
Very nice one to find indeed, and yeah, can't quite juke his way out of that one. Trying to sprout himself and hope for the best, but the attack was already flying through from dogfights.
And the towers though, this is the objectives are the big thing, and Liquid is going from objective to objective with this high sustain, high push lineup.
Should have no trouble getting this tier 2 at all by the looks of it, as at the moment iG.V no intentions of trying to contest them. They're just going to look for the trade. Super, Dogfights, Ninja Light up on the top lane.
You know, it's they kind of need to keep doing this farming kind of method thing, but now that Triple Ancient's pretty much denied from Paparazzi entirely because Liquid took over their jungle, so he's missing out on that one. And Sven, you know, we talk about the Sven, and it's a hero that you want to play ahead. When you're playing behind, you're super behind. And he's only level 10, and it's almost 14 minutes, and he's 4th on net worth, so he's definitely not feeling good right now. He needs to find the road to recovery.
And in fact, they may even be able to defend this tier 1 up top.
Get the rotations in July.
But with the surge out, control not quite able to get the sprout. Even so, there's still the vacuums, they still have ways to break out of it.
Miracle just walks in, and he's now just farming the Shadow Shaman wards. So a little bit more farm for him. They get the tower
get all of them as well, yeah.
They don't even get it to half. Now they're committing almost everybody up there.
Pretty painful for iG.V in terms of big items. We've got Ninja Light nearly having the mech, so that'll be something when it comes to trying to form together the defenses. Cicada, of course, going straight for the Bloodstone. He's just under about halfway there at the moment.
Their team fight just has to. It looks like it has to go so perfect for iG.V right now.
And I mean, you know, and it can. That's the thing. Once Paparazzi has his Blink Dagger, I mean, ideally, you probably want the Darkseer to have a blink for the initial setup with the vacuum. But definitely, just having that blink on the Sven, it's going to accelerate his farm, get him quick around the map, and yeah, we can start to then expect iG.V to have these wombo combos to try and put a stop to Liquid, dominating the lanes, taking towers as they wish, as we see them grab themselves another tier 1 to go down. They're going to try and roll in onto Miracle. Does Miracle have backup? That's the question. I mean, Mind Control's quite far behind here. They will vacuum him back. They'll pop the A just once. The question is if they can kill him a second time. The rest of Liquid's on their way around. Matumba's there, and that presence is going to be enough to just cause iG.V to play it safe. And that's the smart thing to do. You know, they take the Aegis. That's good enough. You can't afford to play greedy in terms of overstaying your welcome in the fights if you're in iG.V's position. You've got to play it safe.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, taking out the Aegis there lets them now plan for the next few minutes. Once they get that Sven Blink Dagger, it's going to be the big one to make aggressive plays. How he's doing on Matu. Almost Radiance finished up, so that's going to be a pretty fast Midas Radiance coming up for him. So he's going to be that scaling core, since they only really have, I mean, you can count, of course, Nature's Prophet as also a core, but they have like this weird kind of pseudo cores, right? Like Nature's Prophet, Necro. They scale, but they're different the way that they scale.
Yeah, absolutely. They're not your traditional hard carry farming such cores. But I mean, that Radiance is also going to, of course, cause issues for iG.V lineup. You know, so we've said they want to go for this wombo, but if the blinks on the Sven and eventually the blink on the Darkseer are going to be constantly cancelled by Matu's presence on the front lines, it's going to make it a lot harder for them to find that jump.
Yeah. iG.V smoked up. They're looking to make a play with that reveal of the Blink Dagger.
But look who's behind them. It's only GH with an Invis rune.
Oh, no
I mean, it couldn't be any better for Liquid here, as GH just waltzes in, cancels the smoke, and now iG.V kind of getting pulled apart. Paparazzi will put the God Strength, jumps forward, looking towards Mind Control, but GH gets off the Echo Slam in time. Doesn't matter though in terms of Mind Control's life. He will still go down. Miracle tries to come forward, gets shackled. The vacuum wall connecting onto two. They'll drop down the walls. They don't quite have the follow-through lockdown to hold GH and Miracle in place, so Liquid will get themselves away from that wall placement. Jump back in from Paparazzi, zipping from Cicada. They catch out Kuro on the Wyvern, and they're not done yet indeed. They've got the silence out onto Matu. They'll take themselves a third. So despite ults being thrown left, right and center, we really saw the blink from Paparazzi come into play there as he was able to set up for sort of 2 attempts on the lives of Liquid. And then indeed Cicada turning up just at the right time. They turn it into a tier 1 push. Not necessarily the perfect execution of a wombo combo, but as a team fight goes, iG.V really clean there with their their execution and getting in and out at the right time with the course.
It was just perfect like movement. Liquid had no idea that everyone was there. GH broke the smoke on 1 or 2, and you saw the Nature's Prophet TPing in, but then they were like, oh my god, it's a trap. Like, we just TP'd into 4 heroes. Then Rasta Wards cut off Miracle. The Rasta Wards and the Darkseer wall pretty much cut the aggression off from Liquid to make it to that other side of the fight. And then Kuroki gets isolated. And when Kuroki gets isolated, that's like, you know, you don't want to take a fight when Echo Slam is down and your other support already has lost their life. So that was definitely a big play there for iG.V, but Liquid just not expecting it. However, now, GH is about to have that Blink Dagger. That's going to definitely throw a bit of a hatchet into the works.
Stupendous!
Absolutely, you know, GH being GH. Can certainly expect these team fights to be a little stickier for iG.V. Paparazzi for the halberd next. Still a bit away from it. Nearly got the Sands done. That extra bit of tank and obviously great with the Sven.
Almost the Greaves for in July. So he should be able to remove that Orchid Silence from Nature's Prophet. I think Mike Draw just picked it up, so that'll be nice for him. Also, that increased armor versus Troll Warlord should be pretty good for his team. Once he gets that Blink Dagger, that's where it becomes a lot easier for iG.V just to take fights wherever they really want. It's just it's all going to be about the vision games in these. So I want to see My Control actually using his trains a lot to scout. I know he's one of the players that does do that a lot. So I want to see a couple of those just walking around like throughout the jungle and stuff just to get some more information, because that's definitely what caught them off guard, is iG.V just smoking up and them having no idea that everyone was there. So maybe some deep wards if they can get in there. Possible for Liquid.
Yeah, we've got the Bloodstone now finished on Cicada, so this is
under smoke.
The time to go, and yeah, absolutely. Here we have it. iG.V, the movement. They get the catch.
They might be able to find somebody here. In July is forcing the lane out, so they're going to smoke actually ahead of the lane, which is something that most teams don't really like to do. I know Wings was a big team that used to do this. They smoke way ahead of the lane, and then they meet up in a different area.
If they get vision on Matu and Kuroki, this could be the perfect jump, and there we have it, beautifully done. You know, straight away, the stuns there onto the Wyvern. There's going to be no chance of any sort of saves, and they clean up both of them. Yeah, iG.V are really now turning the game on its head, putting the pressure onto Liquid, and Liquid, they've got to be so careful with how they walk around this map, because iG.V, as we've seen there, they just go around as a party and they take you down. It doesn't matter if you've got a Wyvern or not, you're not going to get the chance to do any sort of save.
Yep, getting that quick ward up, and I actually really love that smoke. That's one that you don't really expect. Sure, there's that objective there, the tier 1, that might be the one indicator for Liquid, that you see the Darkseer forcing it in, you don't see anything else on the map, something could be up, but it's the way that iG.V smoked ahead instead of smoking like behind or like adjacent to him. They smoked way ahead of him, and it was like the fight wasn't set up around the tower yet. Liquid did not expect that at all.
Getting a decent amount of damage down here as they'll leave the walls to do the work. GH and Kuroki will be able to clean up some of them on the way out. Down about that.
That's great for Cicada there, getting those 2 extra Bloodstone charges.
Now the net worth graph really starting to even back off, as we can see now, just less than a 1k lead for Liquid. iG.V really being able to turn things around, these movements, and Paparazzi in a very healthy place now in regards to fighting. Pretty much neck and neck with Matsumaman, only 1,000 behind Miracle, and Sven being Sven, definitely expect to see, you know, him take the lead if the game continues at this pace.
Yeah, he's on his way up there. And Halberd is going to be super useful versus the Troll Warlord. That's having evasion versus Troll early on actually makes it so hard for him to play around.
Yeah,
evasion and of course
the disarm.
Yeah.
Both aspects, yeah, very strong against. I mean, yeah, not just him, but the lineup as a whole.
And then once Paparazzi actually gets that level 20, if he chooses to go for the evasion as well, that can be pretty devastating to have. You know, Liquid's one big physical damage that have to be forced into an MKB or something along those lines. They are smoked up now, though. They have a little bit of a vision advantage, but they're afraid. They're afraid of iG.V's big wombo combo team fight.
Absolutely, and understandably so. They do not want to waltz up to this shrine. As iG.V, they're on the high ground ready for this. The Liquid are still sticking around, though. It's going to be about who gets the jump. There's dogfights. That's not a bad way to start. They're getting the eyes onto GH, so he's not going to be able to get the jump in. Here comes Paparazzi, but already they've lost Cicada. Miracle with the BKB reveal, ready to turn and fight. GH falling low. The Greaves pop by in July. Cold Embrace comes in from Kuroki to save GH, and it is Liquid's fight to take so far. They've already picked up 2. Paparazzi with the war cry, starting to back up, but Miracle and Matsumaman are hot on the chase. There's GH with the Fisher jump forward, catching out Angelai. Not quite enough damage to finish him off at the moment, but the rest of Liquid, they turn towards the bigger kill. They get Paparazzi. Super, with a cheeky zap, does manage to punish Kuroki, but iG.V, they've lost 3. Super, he's going to try and run away from this one. We'll see if Miracle continues to look to chase. It looks like Super is going to be able to get himself back in time, but that fight, things really being turned around, even though it looked as if it could have been okay for iG.V, getting that sort of jump onto GH and making sure he doesn't have to blink Echo. But just the team as a whole, Matu's Radiance, Miracle's BKB, those sort of items, just having those at the 22-minute mark, making all the difference in these team fights.
Yeah, the Orchid, like all these small little items, the BKB, the Orchid, and then of course the Radiance as well. Actually, the damage ticks. It actually can't. I think it canceled the Sven blink at the end. He was trying to go for a Kuro, but in the midst of the team fight, you said, like you said, gets a good jump on Earthshaker. Storm Spirit tries to go on the other side of the fight, and he just gets instantly Reaper Sight the Orchid and just dies. And then from there, the fight becomes really difficult for the Sven. Remember, it is a Sven who's playing versus a Nature's Prophet and a Cold Embrace, so you do get kited pretty naturally. He does have Falling Blade, but it's still kind of tough to get into those midst of the fray.
I mean, after seeing that fight as well, do you not kind of look at Sakata and say, well, isn't this just a great game to try and get that Lincoln turn? You need to have that sort of save, or do you kind of understand why he is still just saying, I've got to get that Orchid, I've got to be able to do something aggressive myself? Or would you not like to have seen more survivability from the Storm?
I think Orchid into BKB could be decent this game. Like he needs something to deal with those setups. Like BKB, I think Lincoln's could be okay because there's not really that many targeted spells. It's
there's not a lot to pop it, you know what I mean?
Reaper, and what, like the, I guess you could use Wrath of Nature or Splinter Blast to break it, but yeah, those are the harder ones to actually target on him. So I think, yeah, Lincoln's BKB is definitely safe, but having the Orchid is like, that's your timing, right? You need to have your Orchid in your Orchid Bloodstone by like the 28-30 minute mark, or you're in a pretty bad spot as a Storm. So yeah, he has an Orchid queued up into the BKB. I think the magic immunity is going to be very crucial versus the Earthshaker versus the Necro.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. You know, Necro definitely one of those heroes that, I mean, does he ever really build anything that can remove a silence? I mean, Greaves is unlikely, really, especially on sort of a safe lane Necro now. You don't really want to be getting BKB on this hero, and you're definitely not building Mantis.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the Orchid on Storm is just great versus whenever you can get into the back line, right? If you get, because they have so many jumpers, like we mentioned, if they can get into the back line, they can disable the curse, they just completely remove Kuroki from the fight, then they can go for the other ones. It's just great to have like that kind of double disable method from Storm Spirit. Pull one, Orchid another one, you're able to do a lot of damage in team fights with that. Liquid now, all making their move down bottom. They're smoked up. They're looking to get extremely aggressive here on the high ground.
They're ready to go in by Elizabeth. There we have it. Jump away straight away with the Echo Slam, and there we have it again. Straight down with the Reaper's Sight. That's Sakata immediately out of the fight. Miracle pots the BKB. There's an attempt for the combo here from Angelai. He comes in with a vacuum wall. There was no initial follow-up from Paparazzi, as he's not quite back. Now he's around in the neighborhood. But already, iG.V, they've lost 2. Liquid are going to stand their ground, continue to pummel into this tower. Jump forward from Matuma Man as he forces back Super on the Shaman, and the space is being made here as they just continue to push. Vacuum is going to be back up in 6 seconds, and that almost certainly is going to be when they try for another play. But we can see already Liquid split up nicely, very well prepared for that sort of attempt. And there we have Fisher onto the Shaman. They put the Warcry. Angelai really wanting to try and go for a jump for this setup, but they just can't get themselves in at all. They're just going to lose the melee racks, and iG.V unable to really dig their teeth into this push from Liquid, being 2 members down.
That was really nice. They saw the Shadow Shaman like split pushing top, he drops the wards, they make that smoke rotation bottom, they see the jump on Storm, they do not hesitate whatsoever. They blow the Reaper's Sight, they use everything possible to take him out. And yeah, clean racks.
Yeah. And to be, I mentioned with the Necro, I was like, maybe you don't necessarily want to be building that BKB, but Matu does indeed see that Orchid threat as big as such that he is going to build the BKB. And I guess it's understandable with the amount of silences and disables they have. And as we've seen, if he can get the Reaper Sight out, they will win that fight. I mean, he's not going to get it out this time as he just gets straight jumped on there by the full lineup of iG.V as they come storming ahead. Into the territory of Liquid. I guess Matu probably just didn't expect that sort of movement to come out that quickly after Liquid taking that bottom lane. And in fact, this is a brilliant play from iG.V. They get that kill, immediately move into the pit with the wards, and certainly make the best out of a bad situation in terms of losing that bottom Raxes.
Yeah, they're getting
killing the core and taking the Roche. You're not even too mad about that trade.
Yep, it's the best Aegis holder in the game. Storm Spirit gonna have Orchid finished up. Paparazzi also gonna get that BKB timing, and that's huge for them to really take those fights versus Liquid. That was definitely the perfect smoke coming out. Liquid was definitely not expecting that one again. So far, iG.V's had what, 3 successful smokes that Liquid has not really expected in that kind of manner. So definitely props to them. for having good read on the map, understanding where they want to take those fights.
Yeah. And as you said, not only the BKB on Sven, but he's very close to having that level 18. That third point God Strength makes all the difference. He's got the cheese in his pocket. Yeah, iG.V, not wants to be shaken after losing a melee Rax. Just playing it cool. I mean, I guess in retrospect, they didn't jump in because they're already looking at the longer game. They're like, let's just let this go. We know we can go for this sort of aggressive play and turn it into a roast take. Very nice gun from there, but still. Overall, obviously, with those racks going down, Liquid do hold the slight lead. Still only very slight. They're 3K at 28 minutes in. Definitely still anyone's game.
Yeah, it's really been coming down to just initiations and the way the fight's taken, like, from which angles. Kroki's been overall, like, he's standing in a good place, but it's very hard to play Winter Wyvern in these type of games. But versus Stone Spirit versus Earth Spirit, just so many ways to get on you, so you have to be really careful of your positioning. Like you see, he went for the max Cold Embrace build and the max Splinter Blast build. So deep push and sustain, as we kind of expected, not just that constant harass with Arctic Burn. Although Arctic Burn does feel pretty good. You should start skilling it up now when you have the 8-second flight duration and 20-second cooldown. Control, BKB as well. Don't want to worry about that. They pretty much all need BKBs on Liquid because, when you're playing versus Earth Spirit, Darkseer.
Yeah, you
so many magnetized spreads on you, and he pulls a Geo Grip. You can all just get silenced, and it can be pretty devastating for the team fight.
Definitely potentially gonna be an issue once those BKB durations start to run low. You know what I mean? And kind of looking at it as well, I feel with the heroes, this is a game that Liquid don't want to push their luck too late with this one, surely, because of that wombo and because of having this late game threat of, if you get caught out, this Sven will take you down in a couple of hits in a combo. Yeah,
they definitely don't want. If they take it too late, it can be. Yeah, I mean, they have a Necro, Nature's Prophet, Troll Warlord versus Storm Sven. Storm can just zip into the back lines and cause so much havoc. That being said, though, Liquid, if they get super farmed on the Paparazzi mid.
They are going to jump in. Reaper's side comes in a little bit early, and Paparazzi just able to BKB. Now they look for the turn. Cicada zipping in straight away. They'll clean up Matumaman, who's left behind by the rest of his team, and Paparazzi just jumps in 2 hits, takes down another. The Wyverns have fallen. They're not done yet. They were chasing for more, seeing if they could get anything else, though. But the Liquid were able to get the other 3 out of there. But I really feel this is starting to get to the point where Liquid, despite having a great laning stage, despite taking that bottom racks in relatively good time, maybe it wasn't enough against iG.V's lineup. Now they're really starting to hit their strides at this 30-minute mid-game point. They've got the combo. Paparazzi has more than caught up with the way he's built with that farm, with the Mask of Madness and the Blink Dagger, getting himself into position, getting himself around the camps.
Yeah.
And as we saw that, they pretty much blew everything on him at the start, Reaper sights and all, and it only took him down to about half health.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. We've seen Liquid run the Necro Strap before, and they usually have these very burst-heavy heroes, so they can just drop the Reaper, and then while the Reaper's kind of happening, they nuke him down and blow him up. But we're talking about a Sven here this time around with the Halberd. It's a lot harder to just be able to burst down like that. But yeah, it's definitely looking troublesome, especially with that second Roche, the Cheese, the Aegis. It's a lot harder for Liquid to kind of just take small little type of engagements because they're going to be outnumbered for the most part. It's looking like iG.V's going to be pretty strong for the next 10 minutes or so, especially with that gem that was picked up as well. They know where the vision is from Liquid, I'm pretty sure, from that last fight, when we do see a circle being drawn around the ward that we do have in mid, so they did catch a glimpse of that one. And with that gem, they can deal with the Glimmer Cape that has come out from the Winter Wyvern, Kuroki.
We'll see from Miracle as well. He's got full in on the stat build this game, so after working through the diffusion on the SMY, next up looking at that, getting that Skadi out. I mean, I guess obviously having that extra bit of kite and control with BKB at the Sven is nice, and having that amount of beef yourself means that if you do get caught out of the combo, you're likely to be able to live through it and get the chance to just still pop out the whirling axes and have a punch back. But nonetheless, I really feel like this Sven is certainly going to look to become more of an issue than this Troll is. But comes here, in there, iG.V's jungle, iG.V heading that way down, but Liquid just on the outside of their vision.
They don't want to take a head-on fight still. I mean, Aegis and Cheese is still
hard.
online.
They are sticking around, but as you said, this could become a bit of an issue for Liquid if they get jumped on themselves. Liquid getting very aggressive.
Aegis is getting
that was the time.
Yep.
There, they were looking for that time. There's the Aegis gone. Immediately they jump in. They'll take down the Darks here. Paparazzi getting bashed up, but there's the shackle control onto Kuro. Wyvern's down. Now the rest of Liquid starting to get themselves out of there. A little bit of panic coming from Liquid as the courier itself is sent in as well, taken down, and they're not done yet. iG.V, the boulder smash comes in. They've got the control onto Miracle, getting cleaved down by Paparazzi. GH, there's no escape for the Shaker as well. He'll try and hold Cicada back with the, maybe it's enough, but Cicada, he's hunting and he's finding and killing. GH down as well. The rest of the team managed to get mind control further up the lane. And as you said, I mean, we saw what they were waiting for. They were waiting for that Aegis timeout, but just a little bit of a desperation play from Liquid, and you can't afford to do that against iG.V now. The iG.V, they're just too damn big and beefy. It's getting to the point where I don't know how they kill this Sven. As we've seen, even with ults committed, they can't bring Paparazzi down before he gets the chance to put that BKB and get the disarm out onto Miracle.
Yeah, they used everything. They blew up in July Darks here, but then Cicada comes in through the back, silences Kuroki, and then Kuroki just dies without able to really commit anything into the fight. In July just buys back because of where the fight is taken. He can just walk back in. And I'm pretty sure, I actually didn't see in the fight recap, but I'm like 90% sure Paparazzi actually passed his cheese off to Cicada mid-fight. Okay. So Cicada full healed his mana and just kept going in that engagement. That's what we saw. Because I saw Cicada with 0 mana and then he just surged up to almost like half or even more than that. Matu just goes
jumping in with this BKB, but he's not going to get the chance to repossess anyone here. iG.V, they're too high in terms of health. GH jumping forward as well, trying to catch on, popping the dust. He has got the Venom Super, but Cicada just comes back in with the BKB, zips forward with the center from Super, takes down GH. Up on the high ground, they will lose Paparazzi. So mass TP is coming through to the Shrine to cut him off, do get the big kill for Liquid. So if they can get anything more, though, they're looking to chase down Super. They've got the slow from the Shroud. Mind controls there with the wraparound. Pops out the dust. The Glimmer Cape, not enough to save the Shaman. So Liquid are able to hit back, get that double, get that massive kill on Paparazzi. That really is the big one to write about, as iG.V with that sort of backing up. It looks like they sort of kind of just forgot about the Shrine. You know, TPs came through from Liquid. Paparazzi was blocked in. He's now down for 45. Doesn't have a buyback. Liquid may be able to get away with pushing another set of racks here.
There is the glyph, but the, Battle Trance can make it look non-existent if they do it at the right time.
Oh, and look at that. He zipped in. Cicada, his BKB is still on cooldown. He has to be careful. We'll be able to get back to the Shrine. Has to be very wary with these, he's got about 23 seconds until that BKB's back up, but he can't really afford to go that aggressive here. Jump in from July. Oh, there's a bit of a one-by, but no mind control. Very quick with the BKB. Miracle turns around, gets the instant bash on the Earth Spirit, and Liquid, despite the wall and the combo being dropped down, they're able to keep the push going, get a second set of melee rack. Now they're looking for the retreat. Dogfights, he's there with the boulder smash, but still with this time with no Paparazzi Sven, there's not really enough damage from iG.V to just blow someone up. Cicada zips forward, but they can't fight without this Sven. Matuma Man with a BKB pop starts to force them back. Cicada's trying to finish off the killer. Now Paparazzi turns up. He's back in the game, comes forward, gets the Wyvern, the Reaper Scythe drop, not enough to kill Cicada. Matuma Man jumps forward though, tries to bring him down, and in fact, yeah, they got the kill. Mind control got him with the soul burn from the Orchid damage. Cicada will buy back. They're desperate to try and keep this fight going, iG.V. Paparazzi cuts down GH. Mind control goes for the TP out, but Cicada's there, back in time with the Vortex L2. Buys back for this one. iG.V do end up getting some kills at the end of it all, but it cost them 2 buybacks. They still lost the melee racks. We'll see how much they can do with this time, but Liquid themselves, mind control, and Kuro shouldn't need it. They've got buybacks available. When the Shaker's back up, GH has still got Echo Slam and 25, and I don't think iG.V are going to get too much done. Roshan, unfortunately for them, is not quite up yet. Maybe if that was there, they could go and take that very easily. They do have the wards available, but that timing's not going to be on their side. Yeah. So yeah, Liquid hitting really hard. I mean, it really just felt like iG.V were trying to force it a little too early before Paparazzi came back. They really wanted to try and catch someone on the way out from Liquid, but maybe you got to ask themselves, should they have approached that the same way they approached the bottom lane, where they said, well, they've taken the racks, we don't want to start throwing bodies on them just to catch someone on the retreat.
They really didn't want to lose that Rax, though. I mean, the Battle Trance just makes it so easy for them to take in. Paparazzi actually bought a quarterstaff while he was dying on that top shrine, so that's why he didn't have buyback. So that's actually a pretty big mistake, actually, in my opinion, because losing that Rax, you're evened up your mid lane, and they were on a surge of momentum coming in.
Oh, now if they lose Paparazzi again,
this could be extremely devastating. They have the ward vision there. The rest of iG.V is getting in the area, but
Paparazzi don't come up these stairs.
They are around.
Oh, they're coming in this. GH coming in with a 2-man echo. They'll drop the Reapers down. Paparazzi getting bashed up. That's the Sven now for 80 seconds. Cicada tried to come in with a BKB, but he just couldn't do enough. They're going to lose a second as Super's locked down. The silence is there, and Liquid, they're chasing for more. In July, getting caught by the tip of the Fisher isn't quite enough for them to follow through for the kill, but it is enough to force iG.V back. And it really feels like iG.V are making some painful decisions here, and Liquid quick to capitalize upon it, get the big kills, go straight to Roshan. There's going to be no contest from Vitality for this Aegis and Cheese, and Liquid are really getting themselves back on top of this game. Yeah, them losing, iG.V losing themselves that gem in the last instances too, that really hurt them there, because then Liquid, after they take that mid-rax, they were able to put that nice vision up, and then after Paparazzi responds, he's like, yeah, I want to go farm, I want to get my item up, and Liquid capitalized on that. They know exactly where he is, they 5-man smoke, set up for him waiting on the high ground, perfect initiation, and how convenient, Roche just spawned, so they're able to clean that up now too. Aegis and Cheese for Liquid, and now it's time for them to try to go for that high ground siege. This is their biggest time window. They've got now the Dagon as well finished up. KBs are starting to tick down to their 5-second on Miracle. That's my control 8, and Matu is 8. Sven should be pretty low as well, down to 6. Storm is down to 7. So all the BKBs for the most part are starting to drop. And as we've seen, as well as you were saying, Paparazzi really putting emphasis on trying to get this Bloodthorn done rather than holding on to any sort of resemblance of buyback gold. I mean, is it just the fact that they feel that they have to get these kills? There's no point in having 2 lives on a Sven. I mean, I guess that's certainly true with the fact that Sven, he is relying on having that God Strength. And if he does die once, having the buyback, not having God Strength, maybe it doesn't make that much of a difference. You've just got to go all out with making sure you're fully kitted for that one attempt. Now,
yeah. Now, especially when you're playing versus Aegis and Cheese and when your Storm still has buyback cooldown, you need to pretty much be that big. You need to have everything online for yourself rather than holding your buyback.
So was it
the God Strength.
Just kind of painful at this stage when you've got the 2 bits of the Bloodthorn, the Chrysalis, and the Orchid, and you can't have both out. I mean, obviously, yeah, he was wanting to have the Orchid at his readiness, so Paparazzi can at least have a further silence to offer for the side. But here's the push, Miracle. A little bit of time left on the defense. A bit of a punch through. Well, actually will be sneakily forced forward there by Super.
Lift will be back up in 1 second.
There we go again, but there's Matu, jump in, Reapers, Dagon, onto Shaman. Not quite enough to kill him. Super's actually going to live through that, gets back to the shrine. So a good way for iG.V to stand it. Oh, there's the attempt for the combo. GH will force out, but they've already lost one. Matsu getting chased down. The BKB not doing anything, of course, to save him from the physical damage from Paparazzi. Mind control, times to turn. GH comes back in with the Echo. The 3-man Fisher. Cicada still has enough mana to zip out. Miracle back in, working his way through Paparazzi, who's stuck in the trees, being well and truly outdoored. Jump forward from GH. He forces down, looking to lock this Paparazzi down, but the Halberd evasion being enough to get him back up to the high ground. Miracle trying to turn onto Injuly, not quite able to finish off Miracle. But iG.V at the end of the day, they do hold the defense.
Paparazzi actually ends up living too. That was the Halberd into the Hex, into the Shackles. The Troll Warlord could not get like any attacks off. But oh look, Miracle goes to top rune and finds a regen rune. So push will continue.
I mean, it's a big hold though. You know, Paparazzi now has got that gold. He's got that Bloodthorn complete. And as we saw then, you know, it was definitely the fact that you could see what they wanted to do. They wanted to try and take Super out before he got a chance to drop the wards. But it just wasn't quite enough. The maths didn't check out. Even with the Reaper side Dagon and such, they couldn't quite do it. Standing next to that shrine, Super easily regens back up.
Yep. He had a couple stick charges, the perfectly timed Glimmer Cape, and then the, I think it was the Guardian Greaves plus Shrine, just ticked him just enough to not be bursted down from that Dagon Reaper Scythe combo. But I don't think Liquid's too disappointed with that. They forced a lot of aggression. They got tower down to... Oh, they actually didn't force the glyph, though. They almost brought the tower down, but iG.V actually held their glyph.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty big.
Pretty substantial.
Yeah.
But Liquid actually spots a DD rune bottom.
Again. They just have one up top.
It's the 40-minute mark
that's
now.
That's true.
So.
Yeah, it's runes for days. Here we go.
I loved Miracle's itemization this game. It's pretty standard, but having that early kind of diffusal is really good versus Sven.
And you like the choice for Scotty. Rather than anything sort of, as we said, maybe like an MKB because of the Halberd. You like the fact that he's just kind of built himself up, and he said, well, you can have a little bit of evasion. I'm still going to be able to outwithstand you in the fights that are drawn out.
Yeah, I like that he can just... his concept in this game is he just has to stand toe-to-toe with the Sven and man-fight him. And this is the man-fight build. He has two things to slow the attack speed. He has the defusal to burn off the Warcry as well, and then, of course, his naturally building fashions.
Nico will be forced up to the high ground by Super again with his cheeky 4-star plays. iG.Vitality jumps in, only gets the vacuum onto one. Immediately has to put the BKB as he gets silenced up, surges himself away. Miracle just standing his ground, pummeling into the racks. The fortification will come through. Matu jumping in, trying to zap down Paparazzi. Not nearly enough burst there to bring him down. There's GH coming in and catching two with the Echo Slam. Miracle trying to man fight up against Dogfights. Will take it. Paparazzi gets the stun off in time. BKB as well. He's going to survive. Jumps forward, gets the second, picks up the double kill. And now the rest of Liquid. Miracle falling very low. The Hex coming out just in time to mind control. Trying to come back in. Miracle on this Troll Warlord, but it's not going to be enough as he'll lose the Aegis. Stun held onto mind control, trying to force the Nature's Prophet back. Paparazzi trying to go for a round two, but he has to be careful. Miracle back up with the second life, takes down Paparazzi. That's Paparazzi down for 90 seconds. No Cicada as well. They don't have buyback, and even though Liquid lose the Aegis, they absolutely walk away with this fight. They clean up the top racks. They should be able to just go for Megas and maybe even the game. It's only iG.Vitality and Super left alive, and indeed it looks like it may all be falling apart for them here as they lose the Shaman. He will buy back. He's going to go and grab Miracle outside the fountain. They do have a vacuum. Maybe iG.Vitality can drag Miracle into the base. Doesn't actually end up using it there. Wondered if he could try and go for a sneaky bit of a drag back and a block off.
But it's Megas.
It's not looking great. I mean, they've got the Sven for the Megas, but they haven't got him for 50 seconds.
Liquid's trying to close this one out. Glyph is down.
They know that they can try and go for the collateral, and Miracle.
Storm's respawning right now.
There we have it. No, again, GH has been quick with his 4-stars. Gets himself out of the initial crux of the combo. Jump forward, mind control able to turn, take down one. He's now looking towards iG.Vitality. He's put the BKB, trying to run himself away, but the physical damage from mind control is pretty hefty. Cicada now getting chased, stunned up, zips off the high ground just in time. Super jumping forward. Cicada, can he actually escape? The Fisher connects. Cicada only with a little bit of mana left to play. No mind control. Peeps him there with the Nature's Prophet play. Takes him down. There's the buyback though. Looking for Miracle. Will find the Troll Warlord 10 seconds before the Sven's back in. Can iG.V well and truly hold this? No, they can't. By looks of it, Cicada trying for the TP out, but the Fisher's there. He's down for 100. Now the Sven's back, but Paparazzi's got no friends. Everyone's dead, and GG is called. Liquid taking game one at the end of it all. A bit of back and forthness from the sides, but it really felt that Liquid just played the cleaner game, and iG.V